Hi guys, welcome back to another video where today we're checking out these 4 diecast models. Make sure to stay to the end as you don't want to miss this one. But kicking the video off, we've got this Speed GT Lancer Evo 9, and as you can see it comes in this really cool martini livery. Now I will say I've never checked out Speed GT before, so this is a first time review. But as you can see, it does come in the same sleeve design as Inno 64 and Tarmac Works. Obviously this seems to be a little bit thicker though, which obviously is quite nice as it won't crease or damage as easy. But now moving on to the actual model itself. Now through doing a little bit of research, I couldn't actually find a real life version of this model. Now I don't know if that's just because it's super rare and there wasn't any photos of it, which I do doubt, but I don't think this is based off anything in real life, which is a little bit unfortunate but quite cool at the same time. The only reason I would say it's unfortunate as there is nothing to base it off, and that way anything they do get wrong in a sense, they can just say, well, we added it as it's a cool feature. Now that's obviously in my opinion a little bit of a cop out, but that doesn't stop this model being absolutely incredible. Now some people might say proportionally it looks a little bit off, which I will kind of agree with. Proportionally it's not 100% the greatest, but you can see though the detail gone into it is very good. And to list a few of those examples, you can see the tyre writing is super clear. You can see there is a red caliper and a disc behind the wheels as well, and also that spoiler is 3 pieces, and that might not seem too special, but they are so small and so detailed, it just looks very good. The interior isn't bad either. It's got very nice detailed bucket seats. It hasn't got harnesses or anything, but you can see there is a bit of a center console as well, which again just keeping the detail nice and fresh throughout the whole model. Now as you'll know if you have watched a few of the previous videos, I do have a thing with the front grille and just grills in general on cars. I do like them to be very nicely detailed. Now on this it is just a solid piece of plastic, no perforations or anything, and to me that is a tiny bit of a letdown, but you can see that the Mitsubishi badge is very prominent on the front of the car, which you can see in these diorama shots just looks very cool. Now something I will say though is the rear of the model. It isn't exactly the best. You can see it is a little bit stubby and the lights just aren't exactly the most detailed. You can see they haven't exactly got that right. But besides that, you can just see the whole rest of the model is very well done. And with that beared in mind, I would actually recommend this Speed GT brand. Obviously I've never checked them out, but I'll definitely be checking more out from them. But now moving on to the second model of the video, which is probably my personal favourite as I do have a bit of a soft spot for the older Ferraris, which this is the 250 GTO. Now as you can see, this is by a brand called Mini Dream, and just like Speed GT, I have never checked these out before, but I was super excited. You can see it does come in a very similar sleeve design to the Speed GT, obviously just having a little bit of a die casting and obviously the circle, just adding a little bit of a unique touch to the actual packaging. But what really sets this model apart is the base that it does sit on, which unlike 99% of the models that I have unboxed, or I'm pretty sure 100% apart from this one, is or have been plastic bases. But as you can see, this comes on a solid wooden base, which in my opinion just makes this model feel so premium and so expensive. If I didn't collect cars and I saw this in someone's collection sat like this, I would think it's worth hundreds, not the 25 to 30 pound they're actually worth, which is the price of all the models in this video. But besides this model coming on the really cool wooden base, it's not actually numbered, it just has the plaque with 250 GTO and a little design of the car, which is quite cool as you don't see that too often, but I would have kind of expected it to be numbered, being obviously presented the way it is. But you can actually see the model is really cool. You can see it's got the number plate on the rear and the wheels spin very well. You can also see just how detailed the interior is. Obviously it's got the classic wooden steering wheel, but that bright blue interior to match the stripe down the front. Obviously the tail lights on the rear are actually painted, but to make up for that, obviously it has put the number plate and it has got plastic lights on the front, which I don't think the tail lights look bad in any way, as they still do look very realistic, as you will see in the shots with the dioramas. But besides that, you can just see overall this model does look very, very cool. But I will say, proportionally, I think they could have got it a little bit better. Now, I'm not saying that this model is bad in any way, just like the Speed GT. In fact, this model is actually very, very good. 250 GTOs are very hard to make. Now, I do think one of the main reasons for this is the model being diecast and not resin. Now, with diecast, you do tend to lose a bit of the body lines with the finished product and also adding paint as well. But that doesn't seem to be the case with resin, as obviously it's such a light material. You can just get a lot of a smoother finish, you can shave it down, you can do what needs to be done with that model to make it even closer to the real one-to-one car, which in my opinion is exactly what you need to make the 250 GTO, as it is such a hard car to make. However, with that being said, if you are like myself and you are a huge old Ferrari fan, I'd definitely consider adding this to your collection. But going from Italy to Germany, we now have this My Model Collect RWB Porsche, which as you can see just comes in this really sleek black packaging. Again, similar sleeve design to the other two, obviously this one resembling more of the Inno 64 with the thinner design. Now, something that doesn't quite come across on the camera is just how heavy the actual base for this model is. It really makes it feel so premium. Now, obviously the Ferrari previously was also on quite a heavy base, obviously being wooden, but this one is still on a plastic base, but it's very heavy. In fact, it's actually heavier than the wooden one itself. But as you saw there, this model is actually numbered, and it's numbered to 499, and it's number 212 out of that, which as you can see is displayed nicely on the front plaque. But moving on to the actual car, you can see there isn't actually a colour to the car. You would say it's chrome, but I would say it's raw, as it's not been polished or anything. It's just a complete raw finish, which is actually quite cool, but I would like to see it actually finished completely, as obviously it's not really perfect, but it does give quite a cool effect. Obviously the wheels matching as well. You've also got that railway window banner, which really stands out. Obviously the whole car being chrome and that just being the one accented colour just really stands out. But you can just see the detail, even from the few little shots you've got so far, is just very good. It's got a really detailed interior with, again, the classic wooden steering wheel, just like the Ferrari. It's also got really detailed centre console and dashboard, and obviously the lights front and rear are very good. It's even got the indicators as well. Now, as you can see, the wheels don't move as well, which is primarily meant for display models only. Now, I will say I think this model wasn't really meant to be taken off the base, as there's two plugs underneath the screws, or over the top of the screws, glued in very strongly, and it did take me about 15 minutes off camera to actually fully unbox it. So I think this model is meant to actually be kept in the case, but obviously that's not how we do it over here, because that way you won't actually be able to see the proportion and what it looks like compared to other models from different brands across the board, and also the 164 figures as well, which as you can see this model is fairly big. You can see it's quite wide, quite tall, and just overall a very chunky model, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't seem too bad, but comparing it to the likes of resin models, mini GT models, it does seem a little bit out of place. But now let's move on to the final car of the video, which is none other than the late great legend Ken Block's Ford F-150 HOONITRUCK. Now, if you do remember a while back, I have previously unboxed his RTR Hoonicorn Mustang, which was also by Street Warrior, which was very good. But this time, as you can see, we've got one of his other vehicles, which is the HOONITRUCK, which again also by Street Warrior. Now, as you can see, also like the Mustang and the previous model in this video, you can see this model is also numbered out of 999 and it is 906, so a fairly high number out of the lot. but that doesn't take away the fact that it's still Ken Block's F-150 Hoone Truck, which is absolutely incredible. And you'll very quickly see that this model is not lacking on the detail at all, which I was super happy about, as the Mustang also was definitely not lacking on detail and is still up there with some of the more detailed models that I have reviewed. But this isn't about the Mustang, this is about the F-150 Hoone Truck, which, as you can see, already just looks absolutely incredible. The detail on the rear of the model is absolutely superb. You can see all the stickers on the back of the window, but not only that, you can see the rear exoskeleton outer roll cage and also all the details on the back of that as well. Obviously the fans, all the different little compartments that I couldn't even name them all, honestly, as this car is so complex, just like all of Ken Block's builds were and still are. But as you can see, they have got it very well done. You can also see, despite the wheels not moving, they've got very nice detail with the tyre writing, and just same goes for the interior as well. They've got a really nice detailed dashboard. Same goes for the passenger side where the glove box would be, but obviously it's all just stripped out and there is a nice carbon effect if you do look closely. But again, not only that, they've got the front of the model, again, very well done. Obviously it's a quite big model proportionally. It's very wide and quite long, but you can still see they've got a lot of the detail in there. Obviously, like I was mentioning, the front of the model is very well detailed. The grille could be a little bit better, but the lights and just the way it actually sits is very nice. All of the decals for the stickers on the back window are super clear, and just same goes for all the decals across the whole of the model. There's just super good detail, obviously, as you can see, even including the turbos with the carbon effect around them. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which one of these 4 models was your favourite and why? And if you do want me to check out any more models, please also let me know which ones in the comments. But I am going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have made it this far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. But like I say, I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.